Okay, let's take a look at the questions on homework 13. So first is a review of finding missing angle measures. Remember, the only three combinations you can have are two angles that are complementary or add to 90, angles that are supplementary, add to 180, or angles that are equal or congruent to each other. You'll notice in this problem, you see the 90-degree box. So this is a complementary relationship. So 38 degrees plus A is equal to 90. Subtract 38 from both sides. Use your calculator if you need to. And get your final answer. Again, I identify the relationships, starting with the congruent ones first is easiest. Vertical angles are equal, so angle C would be 64 degrees. Angle B and the given angle are a linear pair, so that means they add up to 180. So B is 116. This topic should feel familiar to you. We've done it a few times. This time, for the second lesson, your angles will be algebraic. So you're going to need to combine like terms and identify the relationship. 6p and 9p make 15p, and plus 3 and minus 3 make 0. Now, since those make a 0, we in fact don't even have to write that. Divide both sides by 15. And we get 12. Use your calculator to help you out. One more time. Identify the relationship. This time it's complementary. No like terms, so we subtract our constant and divide by our coefficient. Pause the video if you need to. Now we're going to move on to the next lesson. The quadrants go around like how you draw a letter Q. Again, the quadrants start and go around like how you draw a letter Q. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whoops. So quadrant 1 is all positive. Quadrant 2 is 1 negative. Quadrant 3 has 2 negatives. Quadrant 4 has 1 negative. So point 1, 3. So if you're at the origin and you go over 1 and up 3, that would be in quadrant 1. So draw yourself a little 4-area quadrant, and you can move in the direction of these numbers, right? So something in the 4th quadrant would be down here. So if I test this out, -8, -5, no. Test this out. +5, +8, no. Test this out. -7, +3, no. +7, -7, yes. And that's how you determine the quadrants. To identify a point, you need to move left or right first. So I move over to 6, and then I move up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I type 6, 8. Again, you have to move left or right first to name a point. So -7 down 2 is -2. -7, -2. Next topic, equivalent expressions. So you're going to practice combining like terms here. 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K. We're not timesing, we're adding. So that's 5Ks. In this one, we have several letter T's. And notice that I circle the operation in front, because that tells you what to do. So 7T plus 1 more, that makes 8 T's, plus 1 more, that makes 9 T's. But the plus 5V stays at the end. They are not alike. So our expression is 9T plus 5V. Again, add up only the like terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 V's and 3 W's. Let's take a look at the next lesson. Rounding numbers. This one says to round to the nearest whole number. So that's the 7 position. The number after it gives you permission to round up or stay the same. To round up, you have to be 5 or higher. This is not, so it stays the same. To the nearest 10th would be the 5. The number in the 5 position. Look at the number next door, and the next place value over from 5. The next place value is a 6, which is high enough to round us up. So we're going to keep the 2, keep the decimal. We're going to round this 5 up to 6. One more time. The hundredths would be the 4 place. So everything before it remains the same. The question is, does it stay a 4 or does it get to round up? The number after it tells you. The number after us is small, so we can't round up, we stay the same. Next lesson, order the integers. So from least to greatest means find the largest negative number. And then we go closer to 0. And then we go higher up. Just click and drag one more time. From least to greatest, find the highest negative number. And we go down from there in order until we get closest to 0. Last one. From least to greatest, highest negative number. Alright, let's take a look at the next lesson. Order sign numbers. That includes decimals this time. From least to greatest, again, find the highest negative number. And then order them from least to greatest. One more time. From least to greatest, the highest negative number. And then the final lesson here, multiplication tables. I took the timer off. You just have to get 10 right in a row. Don't use a calculator. Take your time. Practice each of these items, and when you get 10 right or a score of 10, you can stop. don't use a calculator. So once you get a score of 10, you may click the stop button.